Welcome to Reiki Rising, your sacred space for energy healing, mindfulness, and transformation. I'm Raven Waterblossom, a Reiki practitioner, teacher, yoga instructor, and intuitive guide. And I'm here to support you in reconnecting with your inner light and aligning with your essence. In each episode, we'll talk about the power of Reiki and its ability to shift energy, release blockages, and promote inner healing. We'll also explore insights from a new offering, Dharma Healing, Reiki and Mindfulness for Recovery, bringing together a fusion of Reiki practices and mindfulness designed to help break free from the habit energies that no longer serve us, offering a path to recovery, renewal, and peace. Whether you're just beginning your journey or looking to deepen your practice, this is your space to heal and thrive. Let's begin. Hello and welcome back to Reiki Rising. I am your host Raven, and today we're going to be exploring the basics, coming back to the basics of energy healing and of Reiki. It seemed really fitting to return to the basics of energy healing today. Around this time last year, I began to formulate what this space was going to be like, and it's definitely shifted and changed from the original place where I started. Recently we did move over to Substack, so if you are from the Substack community, welcome. This may be your first episode that you are listening to. It's a great one to start with. So we're going to talk about the essence of Reiki, the foundational principles, and the broader context of energy healing, touching a little bit on energy healing practices kind of throughout history and how this modality can really help us. There is a really great documentary that I came across. Now, I know that it's newer, and I know that we aren't trying to support Amazon anymore, but this is on there. So if you have still have access to your Prime Video, definitely check it out. I will be linking it in the show notes for this podcast episode. Overall, I think it's 4 or 5 episodes, and it's a mini docu-series. And it really talks about energy healing. There's great practitioners, authors on this docu-series that go into more depth than I will go into today. And so if you're curious, definitely give that a watch. So again, I'll link it. And yeah, let's go ahead and just jump in. Thank you all for being here, new, or if you've been here with us for this last 10 months or so. We're almost at the 1-year anniversary in April. So I appreciate you all being here. And let me know if there's something you want to see as we enter this next chapter of our 2nd year of this podcast and the Reiki Rising Collective. Contact me, reach out, comment on this podcast episode, share it with someone that it may be helpful to. Just interact in some way. I would love to hear from you. And I'd love to know what you're looking for and what you're needing guidance in, because that's really why I'm creating this space, is a place for all of us to connect in community and find guidance as we navigate this experience. So, okay, let's jump in. So as many of you may know or may not know, the term Reiki is a term used for a energy healing modality developed by Mikao Usui. And this was about a century ago, in the early 20th century. He crafted this system that made energy healing accessible and teachable. But the concept of channeling this energy, of channeling universal life force energy, is really ancient. It's always existed since energy has existed, and everything is energy, right? So since we started learning about our energy, and in different cultures, various cultures and traditions throughout time, we have found ways to heal the physical body based on the healing modalities of connecting with our light body, our light energy, the energy that surrounds our body in these energetic fields, and how that is informing our physical body. So there's a long history here of connecting with light and connecting with our life force energy to find balance and wholeness, and to kind of come back to our true essence of love. And that's what Reiki is. It's loving energy, and it's bringing us back to our center. So at its core, energy healing really operates on the principle that our bodies are composed of and are surrounded by these energetic fields. And when these fields are balanced and in harmony, we experience good health, well-being. Our mind is clear. Our sleep is great. We sleep well. We feel like we are in alignment. However, factors such as stress, trauma, even where you live, the environmental influences around you, the technology that you are around, EMF, radiation, the chemicals in the air, in our food that we may consume. There's a lot that can affect our energetic flow. And this can lead to physical or emotional imbalances. So our experiences and our environment really inform our body's energetic system. So the brain and nervous system continuously are trying to maintain balance by processing all of this external stimulus and the internal responses to that. So when we're overwhelmed, this kind of equilibrium can be disrupted. So practices like Reiki and energy healing practices offer us a pathway to restore harmony by realigning our energy flow, the way our body is holding and moving energy. And this helps to facilitate our body's natural healing process. So on a quantum level, everything in the universe is composed of energy vibrating at different frequencies. And while the direct application of quantum mechanics to energy healing is still kind of debated within the scientific community, the underlying notion here is that by influencing our body's energy fields, we are able to promote healing and well-being. And this perspective really aligns with the holistic view that the mind, the body, and the spirit are interconnected, and that balance among them is really essential for our well-being, for our health of our body and our mind, and of course our spirit. So finding balance, and I like to think of it as wholeness, of bringing you back to wholeness, is really important in just our day-to-day of just how we feel and how we are able to process information through these energetic fields and in our bodies and in our minds. It's important to recognize that Healing practices like Reiki are not always accepted in the scientific community. Some critics do argue that concepts like quantum healing really don't have empirical support, and that they can kind of misinterpret quantum physics. However, if you are an energy practitioner, and many practitioners and recipients of Reiki have reported and have shared that their subjective experiences of being relaxed, having less stress, and feeling better or more aligned overall has contributed to this practice and this continued practice of Reiki. I have clients that, I see virtually and in person and in group sessions. I often do a virtual and in-person session, and there really isn't a huge difference in the feedback that I've received from people who are participating online versus the people who are participating in person. It's really about the same. So it makes you wonder if you don't think this has any type of scientific bearing to it, how is that happening? So just something to think about. I really think it's fascinating and amazing, and everything around us is filled with energy, and we're all really, it comes back to this idea of us all being connected. We're all connected in this web of energy, and that includes the earth and all of the elements around us. It includes the cosmos. This is universal life force energy. It's the same energy in me that's in you, that's in the person next to you. So it makes sense to me, especially as being a practitioner and using this for myself, as well as teaching this to others, and the differences that I've seen in students and in clients through this practice on how we can affect change in our physical bodies and in our lives just by coming into this practice. Even if it's a short practice, overall reducing stress and reducing our times where our nervous system may be dysregulated, bringing it back into harmony can be really beneficial. So I talked a little bit about the earth being part of this web. I want to come back to that. So the earth's natural frequencies are known as the Schumann resonance, and you may have heard this if you follow that page or follow those pages on social media or are aware of this kind of data that is the measure of the frequency of the earth. So particularly the 7.83 hertz frequency has been linked to human brainwave states. And some studies actually suggest that when our brain waves synchronize with these frequencies, we may experience things like improved cognitive function, reduced stress, and overall, like better well-being. So practicing Reiki can help us attune to our personal energy and sync up with these natural rhythms, which brings us into a sense of ease during times of energetic shifts, which is really important right now. We're seeing these spikes in that frequency of the earth, and we're seeing these shifts happen. Part of that is the solar flares and things that are happening outside of our, what we would call our day-to-day awareness. So using Reiki during this time is really beneficial because we can come back, kind of those things are maybe disrupting our energetic field. So finding restorative practices, whether it's a Reiki meditation or another way to just come back to center, is really important. If you want some additional tips, I did post in our Substack, on the Reiki Rising Substack, a whole article today about why you may be feeling some ascension symptoms right now. And this happens constantly. We're always kind of shifting with the Earth's vibration, the Earth's energy, and our own frequencies are shifting. Sometimes that's a little more apparent than others. So when we engage in a Reiki practice, it's important to remember here, sometimes people think we're bringing something foreign into our energy system, or we're going to get some type of attachment, or that something's going to be, given to us that we don't really want. So rather than thinking of it as something that we're introducing, we're really just reconnecting with a part of ourselves. The process of attunement. So when you become attuned to Reiki, when you learn Reiki, it doesn't teach us something new. It's actually teaching us who we are. It's an awakening, a deep-seated knowledge that's already within us. We're already attuned to Reiki because we are Reiki. So this attunement process is really just an awakening of that energy and reconnecting you with it. It's enabling us to channel the healing energy for ourselves and for others. So because we are Reiki, we can't learn Reiki, right? We can only learn to facilitate a space for this healing to occur. We can learn to tune in to other people's frequencies, tune into that web of interconnectedness. And that's really what we're doing here as Reiki teachers, as facilitators, and as practitioners. We are learning to tap into that energy and recharge. I like to think of it sometimes. I heard another Reiki podcast talk about this. I don't remember which one it was, but they referred to it as when you are getting a session, or when you are being attuned to Reiki, when you're being taught Reiki practices, it's kind of like when your car battery is not working, which it's winter time here in Spokane, so that's happening for people. It gets colder out and our car battery goes dead. So if you think about that, like the car battery is still there, it just needs a little jump. So we may hook up to another person's battery and give ourselves a little jolt to get started. And that's really what a Reiki session is, or what a Reiki practice is reconnecting and having that jolt when you're attuned or receiving Reiki. And even as a practitioner, as a Reiki therapist, you are receiving that kind of jolt. You're getting that opportunity, either in your self-practice or with another person, to receive that energy and to plug in into that energy, if you will. So again, I want to just highlight that documentary. If you are wanting to learn more about some of the different types of energy healing, that's a really good place to start. I'm also going to link my bookshop.org. I have a ton of books on there that are also really great for learning about energy healing, if that's something that you are interested in. But I just wanted to connect with you all and just come back to kind of these basics. Let's see, is there anything else that I want to share here? I think I really want to just remind you all that this path and journey of healing, it's really personal and it's a collective endeavor. I really want to emphasize that as we connect with this energy, as we connect with universal life force energy, just for ourselves, we're not only healing ourselves, but we're also contributing to the healing of those around us. It's a ripple effect. So the more that we lean into these practices of self-care and learning how to work with this energy for ourselves, it's really beneficial to healing the community around us, healing the collective. And it doesn't mean that you have to share Reiki with other people. Always you want to ask for consent, and you want to do this in a way that is ethical. Really, what's important here is that every step you take to care for yourself, to heal yourself, connects to that web, because we're finding alignment within ourselves, and then our energetic bodies are also aligned, our physical bodies are aligned, our spiritual bodies are aligned, and we can relate to each other, have compassion and love for each other in really profound ways. I think the last thing that I want to share here before we close today is that when this practice, there's this whole kind of thought that this practice is something that's meant to be kept sacred, and this is why we have these trainings, and this is why people are becoming Reiki masters in a day or a weekend practice, which, it wasn't always like that. And, if you follow me for a while, I do kind of struggle with this idea of calling myself or anybody calling themselves a Reiki master, because really what we're mastering is ourselves, not Reiki. It's not something that we need to master, I don't feel. We do need to keep learning. That's really important, to keep learning, to keep seeking knowledge, and to keep growing our relationship with this energy. And it's really an ongoing process. We're never mastering anything. There's no end point. It's a continuous practice of mastery of ourselves and of healing ourselves so that we are in alignment with our truth and our authenticity, and that we could be instruments of peace and love and kindness in the world. So that's really important to remember, as some of these kind of older thoughts about the system of Reiki or system of energy healing. This practice used to be kind of locked down and not accessible for a lot of people. And I understand, in some sense as to why that was, but I'm really loving that it's becoming more normalized and more common to see people sharing this practice with others. Even not even on a professional level, but just being able to tap into this energy for themselves. And as well as on a professional level, there's more trainings out there than there probably ever was. And to me, that's a great sign that we're seeing a real shift here, that people are looking for something more, looking for a way to heal from within. And that's really what this collective needs, what the world needs right now, is more love, more of you, and more healing. So I love seeing that. I love sharing this practice with people. I love teaching people Reiki. And on that note, I will just let you know that there are a couple of opportunities for us to practice together, both in person and online. On February 15th, I'm going to be holding a online only event, and this is a Reiki practice for self-love. So coming back to the love of the self, giving ourselves the attention that we need, that maybe we don't always take time for, and really learning a little bit about this practice. I'll be sharing hands-on placement with you so that you can all learn to access this energy and begin working with this energy for yourself. You might be asking, well, I'm not attuned to Reiki. And I'll just bring you back to what I mentioned before, that an attunement in Reiki is not really teaching us something new. It's awakening this knowledge within us. So it's just a reminder, and this can be done virtually. It can be done in increments over time of just learning to work with this energy for yourself. And when I do an attunement and a certification for this for students, that is really teaching people the hand placements to share this energy with other people. It goes more in depth about the history of Reiki, the energetic systems. There's more of a knowledge base of the underlying system. But to work with this energy, you really, for a personal level, just need to have the intention to be open to accessing this energy, to engaging with it, and to integrating it. So virtual sessions are great. There's really no difference between virtual or in person. And I really want to emphasize that, because sometimes we have this idea that we have to be in person to receive this energy. And so maybe just reflecting on that, why we think that we have to be in person, what that tangible, either hands-on or just being in the energetic field of someone, how that's different for you. So just something to think about, something to ponder as you work with this energy, as you work with life force energy, with love, and learn to connect with your essence. So if you're curious about joining me for that practice, I'm going to drop the link actually to all the events that I am hosting that are coming up, and you'll be able to check that out and see if there's something that aligns with you. Be careful to really take note of what's in person only. There is one event that is only in person, and that's the spring equinox event. So if you're joining from a distance, you definitely want to lean towards some of the other events. That one actually is a yoga and sound healing event. It doesn't have any specific Reiki attached to it. So if that's something you see, just be aware that one's in person only here in the local area in Spokane, Washington. So the other events are offered in person and online. And then that first event happening next weekend, a week from today, is happening online only. So all the details are there. Check it out, see what aligns with you. Oh, sorry for this long ending. It seems like there was just a little more to say here. So, thanks so much for joining me here, friends. It's been a wonderful year, and I look forward to sharing more of these episodes with you, more opportunities for us to connect, more information, more ways to engage with this community of like-minded folks. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you next week.